Hey all you cool cats and kittens. I noticed today that my mullet was blowing in the wind when we were golfing, so it's time for the dreaded at-home haircut. I don't mean dreaded per se because I actually do this all the time, so this is meant to be more of a how-to. Step 1. Handful of soap. By soap I mean shampoo. Now you can do this next step in the shower, but I like to take the top half of a horse shower here in the sink. Some people bathe their children in there. I imagine we will eventually. Get the water temperature correct. Now it's important that you pre-wet here. Still a little cold. And then just generously lather. Okay, now that that's done, this is really key. You don't want to completely dry your hair like you would like you got out of the normal shower. Just enough that it stops dripping, and you're good. Now, for the sake of the children at home, I've kept my screen well above the nipple line. Am I wearing pants? No one will know. But what we do is we start with, I like the number 8 trimmer on the top. Maybe square things up a little bit here. Okay, I'm using a wall trimmer, purchased well over a decade ago for around $22. For the top one, I like to shorten it up as much as I can. And we always make sure that that's the 8 and not the 3. Alright. You just want to make a generous sweep on the top of your head. You'll never make too many passes with the longest one, so you can go a bunch of different directions. Make sure that everything ends up the right length on the top. Then, once you've made enough passes with the 8 on the top, I grab the 5 guard. Shorten it all the way to the shortest setting. Then I start going with a 5 guard. Now you don't want to follow, I've got kind of a weird shaped head, you don't want to follow it around the corner. You want to just go straight up. And with the 5 I'll just focus on kind of the top half of the sides. And I work my way all the way around. Again, making lots of passes in each direction to make sure that there aren't too many stragglers. Should have watched a Bob Ross video before I did this. That had a much more calming demeanor. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Take the 5 guard around here. Again, we're trying to blend it into the 8, which is on the top. And we're just kind of focusing on the top half. Now that we've done the top half of the sides in a 5, then I go down to a 4. And with 4, I'll go all the way down to the bottom. And again, we're kind of sweeping our way out as we work our way up to kind of blend the 4 into the 5. Now, the best part is we really get into mullet country here, and the 4 really starts to take out. There we go, that's not blowing in the wind now. Yes, I am a Camaro owner. Yes, I'm getting rid of my mullet. Sorry, fellow Camaro owners. Now with 4, we're going to work our way kind of the bottom half over the ear like that. And you can cheat the 4 up into 5 territory if you're feeling frisky. And I'll kind of work over the ear in that direction like that. And because it seems like I'm genetically predisposed to growing a mullet, and that the back of my head grows substantially faster than the top, I always go down with a 3 on the very bottom. And I kind of think of this as like the bottom third. Now I'll cheat this one up front so that it kind of layers a 3 back into the 4 and 5 area. And I'll go over the ear. And because summer's coming, I'll even do a little bit of a 2. Now you want to be really careful with the 2, it gets it pretty darn short. So I'll just angle a tiny bit of the bottom right over the top of my ear. And I'll just kind of work the very, very bottom of it. Trying to keep things even for longer this way. Now, at this stage, we pretty well have the majority of it cut. We've got the top done with an 8, got a 5 up here, got a 4, blended into a 3, blended into a 2, and with a 2 up here and kind of a 3 right here. Now, I have a really bad colic in the front, and so if I hold my hair down, I have to keep this tuft of hair substantially longer than the rest of my bangs. So what I do is I'll kind of wet things down again. I'll do a portion of a bowl cut here, basically. I'll just kind of go across.
Just imagine cutting a straight line. Go back and look and see how we did.
About 5 minutes after my hair dries, this colic basically stands up on its own anyway, and so for me it's less important to have a perfectly straight line because genetics is going to screw with it already. I don't know if colics are genetic. I assume that they are. Something hosed me. Alright, once I have everything kind of lined up, then I'll go back and I'll kind of just clip out a few stragglers so that it's not a perfectly square Lloyd Christmas bowl cut. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And Kayla is certainly my Mary Swanson. But sometimes 1 in a million can actually happen, so. Alright, let's see how we did there. It's not so bad. Like I said, once everything dries up for me, basically changes it. The look of everything. Alright, the life hack that I'm most proud of that I've come up with is how on earth do you square up your neck and make it straight if you don't have eyes in the back of your head. So what I've done is I take an envelope and I have a small trimmer and I line the envelope up with the very back of my very bottom of my ears. Okay, and then I hold that very tight.
And if you just use the envelope to guide you, you can usually get a pretty straight line out of it.
So if I were being entirely honest, this is about the only frugal thing that I do. It was not virus related that I started doing this. Mostly out of being a poor college kid and not wanting to set up appointments or make time to do it. And so that's kind of why I started doing it. Also, I guess my brother Scott kind of convinced me that it wasn't as difficult as some would make it seem. So we kind of started cutting each other's hair and it sort of sprouted from there. Now, the last part, just a quick pass over the ears.
I usually end up taking too much away.
If you would like to look like the most average white man in the Midwest, you too can cut your hair with these very simple steps. Hopefully you don't look like Tom Hanks in Castaway when you get picked up on the island once this corona quarantine is over with. So thanks for watching. Hopefully got a few laughs out of it. Try at home on your own risk.